Not that I can think of.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you feel, as a neighborhood, more comfortable with what's going on now? Or do you still have doubts? And if you do, what are those doubts?
We're going to congregate together on Monday the 24th and talk about what our feeling is based on what we learned today. And am I speaking right? We're going to do a
A
postmortem.
debriefing.
A debriefing.
Okay.
Postmortem.
And we really won't know how we want to position ourselves, if we want to position ourselves at all,
Yeah, we just,
until we debrief this meeting.
right.
Okay.
Everyone heard something, they listened, they asked the questions, but the interpretation of each individual is different, type of thing. So, I mean, again, the removal of the tanks is not the issue. It's the manner in which they're going to be removed, and that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest concern of all of us. And I think you heard that pretty clear.
And I think there's going to be a level of trust. I mean, until you see the project happening, you don't really know. And we understand that, but just know that San Luis Obispo County sets the bar for the entire world when it comes to this type of activity and making sure it's done right and during and environmentally safe. So you may not agree, but it does set the standard.
No, we don't know. We never removed tanks in our lives, so we have to.
San Luis
defer
Obispo County
to
is
your
very stringent and has a very careful eye on our activities out here. I don't know if you can attest to that or not, or.
I've done a lot of work with San Luis Obispo County. I've done a great deal with LA County, Ventura County. I've done a lot of tank removals. Most of it are underground tanks, but some of them have had much nastier chemicals in them than JP5 that we've dealt with. A lot of urban areas surrounded by high rises in some cases and so on.
This is Morro Bay.
Yes.
Totally different.
I have to say, I'm also a bird watcher. I love Morro Bay. We're up here several times a year. It's a lovely community. This is one of the reasons I do this work.
Question?
We have, most of us have lived down here for a long time, and most of us live around the perimeter. And I guess our biggest concern is this is a huge intrusion into our everyday life, our quiet little corner, Morro Bay, and so it's upsetting in that way to think that we're going to have 2 or 3 months of constant noise, constant dust, constant truck traffic. I mean, we're going to have to look at it on a daily basis. And
So we're going to try to get in and out of here as efficiently as we can.
but I'm just telling you that to me personally is probably the most upsetting thing is, it's just going to be turmoil. And, we don't have a job where we can go get away from 8 to 5 and then come back here and then it's all done until the next day and leave again. So, if you guys like to send us to Hawaii for a couple months.
We're going to try as much as possible to keep.
I'd be all for that.
We're going to try to keep most of the turmoil inside the berm there, and yeah, you're going to hear something, but we'll try to make it the intrusion as minimal as.
Okay.
And I think
do have another question. Why were 2 goats left?
Because the female is too young to take to the ranch where the other goats are, because there's a predator problem there. And so we want to make sure she reaches a certain age before we move her over there. Because the problem is there are a lot of coyotes where the ranch is, and all the other goats are full grown, so they're not in jeopardy. But she would have definitely been eaten up. And so when she reaches probably about 60 to 70 pounds, we're going to move her on.
But she's with the
Well, you
male.
don't keep one goat by themselves. They're a herd animal. They've always got to have 2.
No. But I mean, she's young. She goes into heat. She's going to get pregnant.
Well, that's okay. I mean, we want to keep the goat herd alive, so that's fine.
Did you find out if the goats were poisoned?
No, because we had no way. We would have had to do an autopsy in that. We didn't do it. Or that's not an autopsy. It's called a necropsy, isn't it? Necropsy. We didn't do that. But something happened, and it happened the day after the planning commission meeting, and so it just was so coincidental. But we don't have any proof of anything, unfortunately. There was somebody at the meeting that did bash the goats. We have it on tape, but that's all we got, so.
He's an animal control officer, so I doubt it's him. He works for the zoo.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he did it, but I'm saying it's the only person that says something negative, and, but, you know, it's unfortunate, and you know, that is a heritage breed. Those aren't ordinary goats. There's only about 1,000 left in the world. They're from the San Clemente Island herd. And so it's not like it's just some goat, you know, random goat. But I was just going to ask you, Mr. Griggs, if you wouldn't mind after that debriefing meeting, if there's new concerns that come up that we haven't addressed, would you mind communicating those to me so we can work on them?
Yeah, I'm going to have to wait and see what the Terra Verde has to say about the points that I made. I might as well just open up a can of worms right now. And it relates to our motivations in making sure that our neighborhood is taken care of. There's been a number of incidents regarding the goats that have upset a lot of us. We were very attached to those goats. All the